Welcome to the State of Michigan Child Development and Care Provider Training Module on strategies for building positive parent-provider relationships. This module has been developed as a resource for providers based on feedback received from program administrators across the state of Michigan. We hope this training provides additional resources to support you in your role and helps you as you examine your own business practices. In this training module, we will cover collecting child care payments, creating program policies around child care payments, communicating with parents about child care payments, and handling late or missed payments. Let's get started. Before we begin, let's take a quick pre-test. Answer the true-false questions to test your knowledge about effective child care business practices. True or false? It is not necessary for providers to have written child care payment policies and procedures. Families and providers can always work out an understanding. True or false? Overlooking late payments is one way that program directors or administrators can build relationships with families. The role of a child care or family child care director or administrator requires many things and can change multiple times throughout the day. 1 minute, the director may be assisting with diapering or hand washing in the toddler room, and the next minute may be running payroll or meeting with a prospective parent or a supplier. The fast-paced environment of leading a child care program is both rewarding and challenging. One of the greatest challenges that child care directors face is creating and enforcing effective business practices, including collecting child care payments. Many administrators started out as classroom teachers, and prior to their role as administrator, they may have had little, if any, formal training in collecting child care payments or creating program policies about parent payments. Additionally, the very qualities that make us nurturing and supportive caregivers can also impair our ability to implement effective business practices. Building strong relationships with families leads to an understanding of the challenges that many families face. Being sympathetic to a family you know is struggling can lead to overlooking their growing child care services debt. Concern for who would care for the child if they weren't enrolled in your program can lead administrators to look the other way while parent debt grows. While an administrator may feel uncomfortable addressing a mounting parent debt or may think they are doing the family a favor by offering extensions or overlooking the debt, the truth is, many families eventually become overburdened with their debt and rather than pay it, will simply find another child care program, leaving their current program despite the leniency that has been provided to them. In many communities, a family's child care center or family child care home serves as more than just a child care setting. Because of the evolving nature of caring for children, communicating with parents about their child's progress and milestones, and sharing in children's learning and development, child care programs and program staff often become a support system to families in many ways. Allowing child care balances to grow creates an unbalanced relationship and prevents programs from effectively teaming with parents in true support of their child and family. It also creates stressors for program staff and parents alike and creates unnecessary business challenges for administrators. Program administrators can and should balance their role as a nurturing and caring professional with the need for establishing sound business and fee collection practices. Click on each number to reveal some suggestions on why this is important and how administrators can achieve this balance. The services that you provide are of significant value. No parent should expect that they get the services that you provide for free, and you have financial obligations to your program or center. A parent wouldn't expect to go to the grocery store and after selecting the best quality foods and produce, ask the manager if they could pay at the end of next month. Neither should they expect to pay late when you have provided support and care for their child and family. While administrators should work to be supportive and accommodating with families, the truth is, when it comes to child care payment collection, there is very little flexibility that should be extended. The most effective payment collection strategies are preventative. The importance of acting before unpaid fees become overwhelming for parents and families are unable to catch up is instrumental to the success of your business. Collecting child care payments in a timely manner is one of the many roles and responsibilities of the program administrator. It would not be acceptable for you to expect your employees to work without pay, or, if you are a family child care director, to expect your family to make sacrifices so that the families you serve can have flexibility on when or if they pay. By changing the way you view collecting payments and understanding the necessity of enforcing program and payment collection policies, you will be taking on the role of a program leader and establishing credibility with your staff and with the families you serve. Set the expectations from the start. Tuition policies should be covered thoroughly during the earliest conversations that program directors have with families and again upon enrollment. These efforts on the front end can help prevent misunderstandings and miscommunication. Not only should programs have clearly written policies in place, program directors must also enforce their own policies. Failing to do so can create credibility issues and questions from both staff and parents alike. If an administrator fails to support one policy, staff or parents may push to see if they can influence the director to bend on other policies or practices. At the time of enrollment, it is critical that you cover the program fee and late payment fee policy point by point. Click each tab to see some suggestions. Creating a simple worksheet that breaks down the math of how much parents will pay versus how much is covered by their child care subsidy is an essential business practice. The maximum hours of care may not be needed. This calculation should be completed with families at the time of enrollment and again at any point when their parent fees or program tuition fees change. If it is not known at the time of enrollment how much the parent will be responsible for, program directors have one of two business-focused options. Wait until the approval letter comes before serving the child, or collect the full tuition amount due for the first month, week, or 2 weeks, including what the child care subsidy payment would be. This can later be refunded if the family requests it once the approval notification and amount is sent, or it can be applied to future tuition balances. These options should be discussed and agreed upon with the family and, as with all tuition payments received from families, should be documented with a receipt given to the family and a copy retained for program records. Although it may be tempting to tell a parent it's not a problem the first time they forget their checkbook or forget to stop by the ATM before coming to the center, the truth is, parents may be testing you to see how firm you will be on collecting payments on time. Even if they truly did forget, sending a message that you are flexible with payment due dates can create an understanding and the opportunity that families could later try to exploit. No one would expect to stand in the checkout line at the grocery store and ask if they could bring back the money for their groceries on Monday since they left their checkbook at home. The services you provide are extremely valuable. Families will treat it that way if you set the tone from the beginning and clearly outline and enforce payment and program policies. In the event that a parent arrives at the center or your family childcare home and says they forgot tuition was due today, one solution is to simply smile and say you understand, and that you will let their child's teacher know that they had to leave to get their checkbook. Reassure the family that their child will be cared for and will continue to have fun with the other children until they can return with their payment. In some circumstances, families will need to make late payments. When these situations arise, be consistent as well. If you have a late payment fee, enforce that policy. Don't let things slide just because you want to seem understanding or empathetic. You can still enforce the policy while being respectful and supportive of the family. Let's try it. Review the following childcare scenario and then select the best option that a program director could take. A parent is interested in enrolling in your program and says that she receives child care subsidy payments. She doesn't have any records of her approval or the amount that CDC pays. What should you do? As the director, there will be times where you will need to address missed payments with parents. Click on each number below to see some suggestions for dealing with missed payments. For parents who are chronically late or who you know are struggling, do all that you can to work with them. This doesn't mean accepting late or partial payments, but it does mean being understanding and talking through ways that you can support them. This should include finding out what days they get paid. Perhaps you can work out a special tuition contract with them. Allowing a parent to pay weekly rather than monthly is an excellent solution, but one that needs to be agreed upon with documentation outlining the specific terms in the tuition contract. Be careful in making these accommodations. It is best to have payments due consistently for all families. However, showing this flexibility with families represents that you're willing to work with them and can go a long way in building the parent-provider relationship. If you serve multiple families who struggle each month, there are several supports that you could offer, in addition to the child care services you are already providing. Click each circle for some suggestions of supports. Click on each image below for additional administrative supports. Make it easy. Eliminate the excuse that the parent couldn't find you in order to make their payment. Install an inexpensive but secure payment drop box, available at most hardware stores. Install this in an easily accessed location within the program to provide another option for parents and eliminate excuses for late payments in the event you are assisting in a classroom or are in a meeting when parents come to make a payment. If you have contacted one parent and are not getting a response, contact the other parent as well. Before doing so, make sure the second parent you are contacting is listed on the child's enrollment form, as well as being included on the tuition contract as a responsible party. Be sure you get all appropriate signatures at the time of enrollment. This can prevent potentially problematic situations from occurring, such as when one parent thinks the other is paying when they're not. Building relationships with families means they feel comfortable coming to you with problems. Encourage families to feel comfortable talking with you. Show them how committed you are to providing the best environment for their child. Communicate with families regularly about the positive things their child does. This kind of open communication will make it easier when you have to discuss a late payment and can make the parent feel more comfortable coming to you in advance if they think they are going to have some kind of problem paying their child's tuition on time. Unfortunately, some people will actually drop their child from the program before asking for a payment plan. Make parents feel as if they can come to you about anything. Now it is time for a quick check for understanding of the topics we covered in this module. True or false? A tuition contract is a good idea, but I don't want to be that formal. Families will pay based on the relationship that I build with them. True or false? There are not many things that a program director can do if families are not paying, other than disenroll the child. True or false? As the director, collecting timely payments is one of my most essential roles. Being consistent helps me build credibility with parents I serve, as well as with my staff as they see me supporting my own policies. If you need more information on provider billing and payments, you can visit the State of Michigan Child Development and Care website at www.michigan.gov/childcare. If you have questions about billing, payments, or PINs, and need to speak to someone from the Child Development and Care office, you can call toll-free at 1-866-990-3227 from 8 o'clock a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, except for State of Michigan holidays. Thank you for completing the CDC Provider Training Module on strategies for building positive parent-provider relationships.